Up+Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up+Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Wednesday, here we are. Thank you so much for being Up+Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. Ebony, the beloved Ethiopian-owned restaurant in downtown SLO, is looking for a new home. It is actually their final week. And for a lot of people, that news hit hard. You know, for almost 2 years, it's been more than just a restaurant. It's been a space, a vibe, a celebration of culture, of community. And now co-owner Feben Teffera is navigating with her partners and her team what comes next. Recently, an SF Gate article started circulating online that sparked a lot of emotion and a little confusion with regards to their spot, the reason they have to leave, the new people buying it, all of this. So today we're going to kind of correct the record, but more importantly, I want to give Feben space to share her story in her words, what is next, how this chapter is being written. You know, all month long, we've been talking about different restaurants to support that are participating in Restaurant Month. Ebony participated last year in Restaurant Month, and this year, we didn't even think they would be around for Restaurant Month, but they got a 1 month extension, so they are around. This is their final week, so being that it was their final week, we wanted to give Feben a chance to chat here. The conversation coming up in just a couple minutes. Please stick around. I mentioned Restaurant Month, and I want to tell you, look, I get it, that January budget might be feeling a little tight after the end of last year. So San Luis Obispo bringing back Restaurant Month, got a little bit more than, I don't know, a little more than a week left, a little less than 2 weeks, right in between. City's basically saying, look, go eat well and don't feel bad about it. More than 60 restaurants, breweries, wineries, cafes rolling out deals, and we're talking discounted dishes, happy hour steals, full on like pre-fee menus, and they actually pencil out. I mean, some great deals around here. Where was I recently where I was like, damn, two people, Bon Tom's, two people eating for 40. I hadn't seen that one. I've seen 2 for 45, like 2 people eating for 45. I think Benny's got something like that, a couple other folks, but 2 people eating for 40? Heck yeah. I don't know, maybe finally try that spot you always talk about but never get to. The city teamed up again with Up+Adam. We got a blog up on adammontiel.com. We're going to be putting up another one soon. We're going to be hitting up some more winners. $250. Scan that QR code when you're at a participating restaurant and let them know you heard them on Up+Adam. All right, $250 to participating spots. That's the city going out to these mom and pop spots and buying gift cards. It's a really cool thing the city's doing with SLO Restaurant Month all the way until January 31st. Don't miss it, because January in SLO just got a whole lot tastier.
It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, my guest today, someone, whether you know her name or not, if you've been to Ebony, you have felt the impact of her work and her heart, her team, her partners. Feben Teffera, a co-owner of Ebony, the Ethiopian restaurant downtown SLO that in just under a short 2 years has become a cultural beacon for the community. Now with news that Ebony is in search of a new spot, a lot of people asking questions are concerned. They care. And a recent article only added to the mix. Today we're going to cut through the noise, get straight to the source. She's here to talk about what's really happening, how she's processing it with her team and her co-owners, and what she's envisioning for what comes next for this really important spot. Excited to have you here, Feben. Thank you so much for being Up+Adam.
Yeah, good to see you. I'm excited to be here.
This is a big week for you. This has a lot of those, bittersweet, a lot of question marks still, but there is this your eyes, there's a resilience, there is a strength. And although there are question marks, there is resolve in you. Do you feel that, or do you just project that well? What are you feeling in your heart right now?
Okay, what I'm feeling right now, I'm so sure that we will find something amazing.
Yeah.
And I keep repeating this every time somebody asks me, which is, often. The place we're in right now came out of nowhere. We were at a commercial kitchen by the airport. Well, wishing one day we'll find someplace nice. And actually, a customer came in a few weeks before we found the new place, and she was just very demanding. And she's like, "You're gonna need a bigger space with outdoor seating. We all need your good food." Da, da, da. And I said, "Oh, that's so sweet." And then 2 weeks later, the space we're in showed up out of nowhere. So based on that, I'm hoping something wonderful is coming. So I'm not. Of course, I'm doing the work. We're searching high and low, but I'm also not stressed about it because I feel like something is going to come. And mostly that's coming from a lot of people. I would say half of the town is looking on behalf of us. So that feels good. And I feel like we're not alone. And
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Last year we featured you during Slow Restaurant Month. That's where I got a chance to really meet you. It's hard to not meet you and not connect with you. Like, you are very, I feel like my fiance is like that. I feel like there's certain people who, like, whether you're talking to a 6-year-old, a 76-year-old, like, you just connect with people. And it's really a special quality that you have. And then I read these articles and I know that things, this chapter at that location was kind of sunsetting for you. So I didn't hit you up as I'm working with the city for Restaurant Month, because I knew that December was going to be your last month here, and here we are a little longer, which to everyone's delight. But so you're not technically a participant in Restaurant Month, but this being your final week, I definitely wanted to have you on and to talk about what, Ebony has meant to this area for the time it's been open and what it will continue to mean as we find a new location. We just don't know where that is yet. But retell that story about how this came to be, because, for Ethiopian cuisine, not even so much a cuisine that a lot of folks are familiar with, but it welcomes you in. Once it's like, oh, we're using our hands, we're taking this injera, we're swiping up these ingredients, we're pinching them together. The full coffee service. I mean, this has really evolved where this town, it was like, we're all in.
So about Restaurant Month, you are correct. We thought we were going to be out of the space we're in right now by the end of December. And fortunately, we got a month extension, which we were so excited about, because it would have been hard to move out during the holiday. Just because it's a holiday and it would have been so hard to find movers and stuff. So we're here for one more month, which now is one more week. So our last day is the 24th, which is Saturday, I believe. We are excited for our last week. Hopefully we'll see everybody that we've been seeing for the last 2 years to come and say hi, and not say goodbye, just say hi and kind of close this chapter, but open a new chapter very soon. So as of how we started, Ebony was just sort of like a love project, which turned into a community space / good, healthy food and fun. And I think people come in for different reasons. A lot of people come in because the food is excellent. And now, in addition to that, it's a very cozy, welcoming space. So people come in because they just love to hang out.
The vibe's great.
Yeah. And then we added wine and beer. So not a lot of people heard of honey wine, which people assume is just sweet wine. And when I tell them there's no grapes in it, they're like, whoa.
Yeah. So, mead, right? They call it mead?
Yeah. So it's not mead, because I had people who make mead come in and try it. So there's a difference. I can't tell you what the difference is, but it is different.
Okay, cool.
Honey wine traditionally is very deep yellow and it's kind of thick. So that's really the original version.
Yeah. I always thought just mead, and this could be me needing to learn more. I always thought just mead was wine made from honey.
So when you think of wine, you just assume there's grapes somewhere in the process.
Yeah.
So this is honey wine, which is strictly fermented honey.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then, but this version, the one that we have and the one you see at restaurants is the filtered, bottled version.
Got it.
So it's not as thick and it's not as yellow. But honestly, I love this honey wine. I drink wine, but not that often. I could drink honey wine all day long.
Really?
Which I tell people, because it's very drinkable. You forget it has alcohol, so So
it's got to be a little sweet.
It is a little sweet, but in a good way. I don't know how to describe it.
I'm not against that, sure.
So you end up drinking more, I think, because it's very drinkable.
Yeah, it tastes good. You want to keep going back to it.
Exactly. So once we had wine and beer, and I change up the space, I would say like every other week.
Do you really?
Yeah, I love redesigning, decorating. So people are excited to come and be like, wait a minute, that wasn't here last week. So keeps it fresh, keeps it exciting, and the food is good. So, and people come. And another thing I wanted to say is it's community eating. So we're not used to sharing our food.
Yeah.
You come to Ebony, you're sitting with your friends, you're eating with your hand, you're eating out of one big plate or tray.
Right.
So it's so much fun, and you realize, oh my God, food is meant to be shared. You eat it together. So that, I think, kind of brings a lot of people for the experience. And once they experience that, the first time they would be like, oh, can I get a spoon? And then after that, whoever's been there before.
Can I get ranch?
I know. No, but people you see when they bring other people back, they're like, oh, no, I don't need a spoon.
Right.
Just to say, I've been here before.
Or you almost like you watch somebody kick someone under the table. Like,
exactly.
Don't ask for a spoon here.
But it's so fun to see, because people want to be like, oh, I know this. You don't need to bring me spoon.
People love to feel like they're kind. It's not an ownership, but it's like I understand the culture. I've welcomed it in. Like, let me teach you. Let me help. No, we don't do a spoon here. You just grab the injera, and it's fun. People love to feel wrapped up in it.
It's fun, and we forget eating with your hand is so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're so, the fork or the knife or the spoon kind of separates you from the food.
True.
So touching your food almost brings you back to childhood, because you're eating with your hands. Your hands are getting a little dirty. It's fun. Of course, babies and kids love it.
For sure.
Adults also gives them that feeling of like, oh, this is exciting. I'm eating with my hands. So.
One of the first things I remember seeing my fiance do, lady I fancy, when we first started dating, she would have a salad and she would pick up pieces of the salad and she wouldn't eat the whole salad this way, but in conversation, she might grab, and she did it in such an elegant and like kind of a sexy way, but you're like, wait a minute, it's counterintuitive, right? Because you think of this, when we're a kid, but then even when you're a kid, what do they do later on? They give you the little spoon with the fire truck on the end of it and to teach you with the utensils. And of course, some of this is cultural. It's what you end up doing. But I like the idea. And in some countries, like with lettuce and picking up lettuce, or, people say it's sacrilegious. You're not supposed to rip, cut lettuce, right? So like all these things. And I was like, oh no, it's kind of cool. So I totally get what you mean with some of these cultures where part of it is just like, pinching this food, and with this injera bread, we'll talk about it in a few minutes. It's incredible. And it just lends and it leans to that so much.
Yeah. And I think that the joy in like eating with other people and eating with your hands, it's not something we get to do every day. So it's exciting to do it in the space where it's okay to do it. That's how it's done. So it just gives you the feeling that I'm doing the right thing versus you're not doing something you're not supposed to do. So the whole spoon thing, it's kind of like a little game. If somebody says, oh no, don't bring spoons, it's like, okay, it's like an inside. Yeah. I know you've been there.
If you know, you know.
You've done this before.
Yeah. IOIKYK. Let me ask you, if you were to take your restaurant, and this is why it's so special that we have it here. If you were to put it in LA, if you were to put it in San Francisco, it would obviously slay. People would love it. They would be vibing with it. But were you a little nervous? Is SLO going to wrap their head around this? I think of just like restaurants 10 years ago when they were trying shared plates, and it didn't quite connect because other markets, big metropolitan markets, were into shared plates. It was trendy. It was cool. And then like restaurants like Foremost comes along here in like, I don't know, 2015 or something like that. And like, we're sharing plates, and they have a great chef. They have this whole thing. And then, and then 5-6 years later, it ends up closing. Or we've tried shared plates here, and it doesn't always work. What do you think that made people like, was it the timing? Was it the culture? People just wrap their heads around it, like, oh my God, we're all in.
I think it's a combination of two things. Again, this is just me thinking about it. One, it's the culture. It's not something we're doing that's different. This is how we do it, and this is how it's done. We actually wanted to do it a little differently because we're like, oh, let's be different and let's not have to share plates, especially because we started around COVID and it was takeout plates. But afterwards, every comment, everything is like, oh, do we get to eat and share plates? People wanted it. They didn't want it to be modern. They didn't want it to be like this different, because I really wanted to do it differently. But people wanted it. So we're like, okay, if that's what people want, that's what we're going to do, because that's how it's done. The other thing, I guess, so the shared plate worked because it is the culture. And then did I think SLO was going to receive Ebony well? I kind of had a feeling, just because the whole thing started because I was working at the public library at the time. And whenever somebody finds out I'm from Ethiopia, they're like, oh my God, we love Ethiopian food. We love Ethiopian. That was just like the comment constantly. And I'm like, I love that. That is pretty impressive that a lot of people in SLO had. And this was in Los Osos or SLO. So I kind of knew. And I also did a thing where we used to cook in my backyard and invite friends and eat together. So that I remember that being so much fun and so community oriented. It really brought people together. So I kind of, it's hard to say I knew, but I kind of figured it would be received well, but I didn't know how. Like, I didn't have a vision for it, or I didn't know what it was going to look like. And also, I was going to LA getting injera and then freezing it and then heating it up again. Now I only eat injera that's like 3 minutes old, versus like before Ebony, I would go to LA and just get random injera from the store, freeze it, and then when I'm ready to eat it.
Because like we were talking off the air, injera like doesn't, it's the newness of it is part of how we consume it. Like tomorrow, the next day, it's not the same.
It's not the same. Well, technically in Ethiopia, people don't like hot injera. Fresh injera is not something you eat. Like my mom, my aunts like their injera cold. I love it hot. Don't know why. It's kind of sticky. It's hard to work with when it's hot. So you definitely have to let it cool. But, I don't let it cool for more than 10 minutes. But technically, you're supposed to eat it cold. The next day is fine too, but our injera is 100% teff flour, which is because we're a gluten-free kitchen. So teff is very hard to work with. So with teff injera, you don't want it to be too old because there's no gluten to stick it together. So it'll just start breaking. So we were doing fresh injera, which is why I get a lot of people that come from the big cities and say, oh my God, I love Ethiopian food. I eat it all the time, but it does not taste like this.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, we have the luxury of being in a small town. We're not doing mass production. So we could do very high quality fresh food versus if we were in LA and we were pumping out, 1,000 injera, an hour, then it would be a different story.
Right.
So we have.
Let's talk about injera. What exactly is it? How do you describe it as a bread?
So I call it bread, but it's really not bread, but that's the closest way to describe it. But I would say it's like a spongy, flat, fermented
bread. No,
I know.
That's like my idiot mind goes like
tortilla would be a better word, or
but it's got 3 dimensions to it. Where a tortilla is very flat.
I agree, but like that's the only way to describe it.
I don't know. It's pretty thin, but it's got it's got some dimension to it.
It's got dimension, and it's got those holes. We call them eyes. So without the holes, it does not work. By the way, there was 2 or 3 days out of the 2 years we've been around that we had to close early because we could not get the eyes.
Really?
Work. Yeah. There's no ice. There's no injera. You're done.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. And fermentation. I don't know if you've fermented anything before. It's always very weird because if it's too hot, too cold, too humid, it's always different. So
it's got to be just right.
Yeah. So the eyes are critical because otherwise it won't take up the sauce and stuff. It'll just like slide down. Yeah. It doesn't taste the same. So the eyes are key.
And let's talk about why it's so good. One, we're just kind of ripping it. We're using it with our hands. But also, like you just touched on it a second ago, we're scraping up sauce. We're picking up the proteins or the vegetables. Well, like it's very tangible.
Yeah.
Yet your hands aren't getting messy because it's on the other side of the injera.
Exactly.
And then you just get to make yourself a little bite and just go to town.
Especially if you know what you're doing. You're not supposed to get your fingers dirty. You're not supposed to have sauce all over. Yeah. Like you're using 3 fingers, and by the time you're done, you have to wash your hands, but your hands should be clean.
Right.
You shouldn't have sauce running all over it.
Yeah.
Which is why I also provide spoons. So people rip a piece and then they scoop sauce and put it on the and eat it.
There you go.
But we know how to wrap it really nice and neat so we don't get our fingers dirty. Not dirty, but like messy.
Yeah, sure.
So you kind of use your 3 fingers. So there's a way to fold your your sauce in the injera.
What has been some of the more popular menu items? Of course, the coffee service. What have been some of the more popular things that you have found at Ebony that are just like become your go-to home runs?
So the spicy red lentil is our top seller along with the mushrooms. Those are given, like everybody has to have that. Shiro, which is a creamy, pasty chickpea sauce. That has been so popular. So with Shiro, I always feel like people who know Shiro will order it first just to be like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then to a lot of people surprised are, a lot of people are surprised that our green beans and carrots are so amazing, because everybody says, I did not know green beans could be this tasty, because people don't order them. They see green beans, they're like, oh, I don't know, they think maybe canned green. I don't know, there's not a good reputation for green beans, but once you have the green beans, you will not go back. But I always say everything in between is also so delicious. It's just a matter of preference. And for people who don't like spicy, we have a lot of good sauces that are not spicy. So we have one spicy item, everything else is delicious and not spicy.
Are there go-tos that, like, if you're hungry and walking around and have 15, 20 minutes to take for yourself, that you'll always eat?
Yes, I would say definitely the spicy lentils and injera, and you're good to go. You got your protein, which injera also has a ton of protein. It's naturally gluten-free and it's high in protein and iron. You do those two and you're good to go, and you're full. Injera is very filling. So done, quick lunch. You get a salad, red lentils. You can add a mushroom if you want, and one injera, you're happy.
Now, let's talk about this article that came out in SF Gate. They recently wrote an article about how, like, downtown SLO was, like, caving in on itself. And a lot of people were here going, like, so, like, rich for a San Francisco newspaper to talk about, you know, the downfall and the spiral of a downtown, considering what, you know, San Francisco has looked like for the last few years. But this article talked about you being evicted from your spot, and it really, of course, it created, you know, some moments that they can hand you momentum, but they don't always hand the readers the truth. And I imagine, to kind of like lay it out with this space that the owner, and correct me if anything I say isn't correct, that the owner has this network. They sold it to the San Luis Obispo Art Museum, and they're going to be taking this whole space over for an opening by 2027. So what was the kind of vibe with that whole thing for you?
Well, the article, the article came out, I think I found out the article came out because I was getting messages from other places saying, why don't you come to Napa Valley? Why don't you come here? I was getting messages randomly. And I'm like, why is everybody asking me to come to another city? Anyway, long story short, I saw the article, which we did see the eviction. I kind of scanned through it because there was a bunch of interviews the week before that. So usually I don't know when the article comes out. I would like to know so I can prepare myself. But I saw that, and right away we had to correct. I don't know if you've seen our Instagram. We did like a correction saying it's not an eviction. The rest of it was just, it was a normal coverage of what's happening, but the eviction was pretty inaccurate, so we corrected that. But it did feel like, because our building, as you come in, if you've never been to SLO, as you come in, the building we're in is pretty empty. And it's been like that for a while. It's nothing new. So it feels like, where are all these other tenants? Prior to us moving, it was the wedding shop and then the bakery. And then when they left, it just feels like we're in an empty building. So I don't know, like you get a visual of like, oh my God, everybody's gone. But it's been the case. So we're sort of like the back of the building. So you come in and there's nothing. And then you see, it explodes.
And you have done such a great place in making that feel like home. I think the tricky thing about social media too is that the version of the story that trends isn't always the one that's true. And I guess looking back, what's the one truth you wish maybe had landed sooner before the narrative kind of took a life of its own?
Yeah, so basically, I've always said to anybody who, would come in and ask, is we're not getting evicted. Our lease is over. We knew our lease was coming up it was not going to be renewed because there was always a talk about the building doing something else with that space.
Yeah, I think in 2021, the Tribune had an article like they wanted to do something with that building. And
I think that was always, even when we went in, that was the case. That's why we only got a 2-year lease. Actually, a little under 2 years, but we knew our lease was coming up. So it was not a shock. We were trying to find out, hey, is there anything happening in this building so we could renew? We would love to stay. But it's not a surprise we knew this was coming up. We were just hoping to kind of like know that something's coming up. Here's a heads up, prepare yourself. Versus like last minute, we're like, okay, something is definitely coming up. We need to move on. So it was just the timeline that was a little squeezed us a little. We didn't have enough time to look for space, but it was no surprise. If it wasn't the museum, I think there was always talk about
something,
a project in that building.
Yeah.
Of course we want to stay. This is not, but if we're not using most of the building. That building is huge, and there's a whole underground basement. So it's nice that if it just get cleaned up and all of it is used. So it's great for downtown. So it's unfortunately, we're the ones who have to move out, but it's a good thing that the space is going to get revamped and it'll be clean and it'll be good for anybody that's in the downtown area.
Yeah.
So.
And it's something that people buying the building, in this case, the museum, I think it can kind of be cool. I mean, obviously you guys brought a lot of culture in your space, but I think that the SLOMA, the museum could bring some cool culture to the downtown area, and almost like, we talk about these ways where SLO can act like a big market even when it's not, and having a, like a bitchin' little museum where you go and watch some art, hit the cafe, hit the gift shop, exit through the gift shop, right? And do your thing. That could be really neat for downtown.
I think it would be great for downtown. Like I said, unfortunately we have to move out, but it's good that the entire building, because the front of the building is not very attractive or being used. It looks like there's nobody there. We do get a lot of people walking in and be like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know this was here. So it's nice that it's getting, the front would be welcoming and people will walk in. So I think in the long run or in the short run, it'll be great for the downtown businesses and just SLO in general, because I would go to other places to go to a museum. So it's nice.
Yeah. The most important thing that I think fans of yours and what, me having lucky enough to have you right in front of me here is like, what is next? What are we looking for? Have you been looking at some spots? Like, what are you thinking of? And we're really, curious, and we care about what's next for Ebony.
Yeah, we've been looking for a while now. We have not, as of today, fingers crossed, we have not found a place that works for us or that we can afford. And we're looking anywhere in SLO. It doesn't have to be downtown. If it's not downtown, there's the perks of parking. You can find parking easily for not downtown. So we're not, it's a trade-off whether you stay or not. So we've been looking hard. We've been getting a lot of messages saying, have you looked here? Have you looked here? We've looked everywhere. We haven't found anything. I've looked at one place today. I'm hoping to look at another, just like tiny takeout kind of spot. So we're even willing to go back to takeout and kind of regroup and take our time and find a good spot. So hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have something, whether it's takeout, whether it's a restaurant, we'll take. And also, I feel like we're not only that, we're doing a cool thing with Ebony and the community, we also love what we do. So we want to continue doing it. We have all these ideas. Even last week, we were just like, discussing, we could do this, we could do that. And then one of us said, we don't have a place yet. What do we have? Like, it always feels like we forget that we don't have a place. We're so determined that there's all these things we want to do. So it was funny that we had to be reminded, wait a minute, you don't have a place. Why do you have all these grand plans? So we do want to stick around. We want to do what we're doing. The food we make is pretty healthy and good. We want to continue doing that. We want to do, cultural events. We want to do a lot of things. But for now, even if we find a tiny little space that's a takeout, we will do that and then kind of like I said, regroup and then come back and find something.
You personally, when you meet moments in your life of resilience or where you have to flex that determination muscle and fight against why me and start preaching like what now and really kind of go at it, how do you channel that? How have you always used your energy, your fortitude to go through those moments in your life?
I feel like the first thing is definitely not saying why me, because that's, there could be a million answers for why me. So I don't go there. There've been a few, not a lot, but there are a few moments in life where at the last minute something worked out, including Ebony, like I said earlier. Huge moments where I'm like, okay, I have no idea how I'm going to go through this or what's on the other side, but I was so hopeful that something came up like at the last minute where you're like, why, as soon as you get it, you're like, why did I have to go through all that?
Where were you the last week?
Exactly. So I feel like that's where, not only that's where I am, that's where all four of us are. We're all kind of, like I said, we were just discussing the things we want to do, and we had to be reminded we don't have a place. So we're all kind of feeling like something will come up. I have no idea what it is. I have no idea where it's going to be. I hope it's going to be something that's going to work for us. To be honest, we weren't thinking takeout because we came from takeout and we don't want to go to takeout just because we ended up creating all this space and now we have all this stuff too. So takeout would require a whole other setup, but we're willing to do that as well. So we're feeling, personally, I'm feeling like something is going to happen, and a combination, the reason is one, I'd like to say I'm naturally pretty positive. The other thing is I feel like we have a huge community support, so everybody's supporting us. So I feel like I am not missing out on something that I didn't look at because everybody's looking.
Right.
So it's a combination of those two things. But personally, there have been moments in life where I should have given up and then something amazing happened at the last second. So I'm like, this is just keep learning from past experiences, keep being positive, and honestly, it's not in my control.
Yeah,
I'm doing
knowing that
everything
is so
I can.
powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so interesting when you know that and you already have a positive heart and mind. There's something exciting in a way of this chapter being written when you don't even know how this chapter is going to quite end yet.
Exactly. And this is something that when we find the place, this is what I'm going to use as another example of my life. Or remember Ebony, when we didn't have a place and we had 3 days left and here we are. So I really think something will come up. I honestly don't know what it is and where it's coming from. We're doing everything we can. We're not sitting around saying, something will come up. We're doing everything. We're looking everywhere. We're adjusting. We're changing our mind. We're really fixing our mind around whatever comes up. And another thing is, you give me any place, we'll make it work. As long as we can afford it, I'm not scared of a place looking a certain way. You give me anything, I'll make it work.
There's a scrappy gal about you a little bit, huh? You can get scrappy a little bit.
Yeah, and it's actually exciting for me to get a place that you're like, this is not going to work. And I'm like, no.
Watch me.
I'm going to make it work. Yeah. So I'm almost like, don't give me something fancy and expensive because where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
So that's where we are right now. But as of today, we don't have a place. We are very hopeful, and we're even if it's not this week. We close on the 24th, but from the 24th until the 31st, we're kind of packing and trying to figure out. So even if something comes up that week, we'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
Our biggest obstacle right now is honestly, if we don't have a place, we don't know where we're going to take all our stuff. And storage is really not an option for us. One, it's expensive. Two, I feel like storage is a dead end.
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah. So we would love to have a place to take our things. We would love to find a plant sitter because we have a lot of really huge, beautiful plants that we don't want them to just
wither away. No, for sure. So we need a plant sitter too.
We need plant sitters. We need if we end up going to a takeout place, then we can kind of sell our stuff. But our main thing is our kitchen equipment needs a place. So takeout shows up, that works. But otherwise, if we don't find something by the 31st, it's going to be a very...
I'll talk to some of my winery friends. Maybe there's some space and,
Yeah, anything with a kitchen, like anything with a hood.
Yeah, but even for sitting some of this equipment, like if that becomes a need of yours.
That would be amazing.
I really want to thank you for sharing and being so open with not just me, but the audience, of course, but for sharing this with me. Like you're so open about it all. So I appreciate that. I'm excited to taste the honey wine and Ethiopian beer. When you taste what Ethiopians produce as far as the wine, the beer, is there flavor profiles? Is it something that goes so seamlessly with the food? Is there kind of like fundamentals that we look for, textbook things we look for in Ethiopian beverages?
So I feel like in Ethiopia in general, when you do eat Ethiopian food, there's a lot of flavors on one plate. So you don't just get one thing. It's a combination of a lot of things. So whether you're having red or white, you will find a good pairing with the food because you're not getting one, let's just say like one dish, or it's not one pasta
Right.
that you have to pair it with. So everything kind of goes well together because there's a mixture of flavor. So you can't go wrong with having white or red. But at Ebony, we do have other varieties of wine, but the honey wine people love because it's different. And a lot of people had said it kind of brings out the spiciness from the spicy dishes. So it's like a good, enhancer.
Yes.
Yeah.
The wine is really good. I like
wine
it.
is so
And I know what you mean about like, it's got that taste because it's a little like, it's off dry. It's got a little sweetness where you're like, okay, I want to go in for another one.
Yeah, but it's like I said, it's very drinkable. So
Right.
you end up drinking way more. So I always say,
Have you had some fun evenings on some honey wine?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And then as you're taking a sip of that, I want to talk about this Ethiopian beer. First of all, I want to know how to say what the name of this beer is. It's really good.
That's what I hear. I hear people who love beer. I mean, we have people that come just to have the beer.
Yeah.
The Habesha, it's pronounced Habesha.
Habesha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is kind of what you call Ethiopians and people in that region.
Yeah.
And it's cold gold. It's hard to say.
Cold
that way.
gold.
Cold gold, which is what it is. It feels like it's very smooth. Again, another drinkable. If you're a beer person, it's easy to drink. If you're a wine person, the honey wine is easy to drink. So it just...
And I'm not even that much of a beer person. Like, you don't find me going for a beer.
Yeah.
But I would definitely crush one of these. Like, this is great.
Right?
It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, I get a lot of that. So we have Ethiopian beer and Kenyan beer, which is Tusker. So people, they have a choice between Ethiopia and Kenya, which is our neighbor country. So it's fun to have something that you don't get anywhere else in this town or anywhere between the Bay and LA. So we have a good variety.
I feel like you guys do make grape wine too, because I remember when I was in France in that Cituvin, that big wine museum in Bordeaux, they have it's like the largest wine shop in the world.
Okay.
And they have wines all around you, this huge circular room. And I remember seeing oh my God, Passo's here. And it's like every country. And Ethiopia. I'm like, oh my God. I remember seeing Ethiopia. I'm like, it's crazy to think, even just like grapes and wine, how it's literally made everywhere.
Oh yeah, we do make red wine.
Yeah.
But like I said, we decided to just carry honey wine because as far as red wine is concerned, we're in wine country, so we have a lot of options. But the honey wine is unique. So we did our red wine is from Paso, the one we carry here, and then we have honey wine.
Oh, there you
from
go.
Ethiopia. So
now forgive me, because when we talk about injera, I'm half Mexican. I was born here, but I think about all the crazy things we can put on this bread and swipe up with it. And I don't know if this is, countercultural or to think of oh my God, injera. Nutella, peanut butter and jelly, right? Have you ever tried some of the non-Ethiopian cuisines with injera?
I've had it with guacamole, which is my favorite combination.
Really?
Guacamole with injera, yeah. And we also crisp up the injera. Usually when the injera is a day or two old, you can dehydrate it and then make it kind of like crackers. So that goes really well.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a really good...
Like injera chips?
Injera, yeah, we do injera chips. And that is so good with guacamole. I've heard a lot of people say they will put the injera, a little bit of cheese, honey, and stick it in the oven for a few seconds. And then you have this crispy cheese, honey,
oh my
injera
gosh. That's
dessert.
pretty bomb.
So
you're open to it. This is okay to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You brought some injera with you. I'm excited. I would love for you. I want to try. Have you ever tried it with peanut butter?
I have not.
Oh my gosh.
Try it with you.
Are you okay? I love it. So here is literally a little peanut butter. Why don't you unwrap it or give us however you want to do it? And then just hand me a little piece. You take a little piece. Okay, great. Oh my God. First of all, I love the way it feels. And I'm just going to grab a little peanut butter. Yeah. You do the same. And then make sure you taste it on the camera because I want to see your face.
Oh, okay.
And then I want to do a little jelly too. If you want jelly, there's right there. Boom. Okay, injera peanut butter. Now, what would you think about this? Do you think this is going to be good?
This is my first time trying this ever, so we're trying this together.
Oh my gosh, cheers. Okay, here we
Cheers.
go. All right, here we go. Oh God.
It's actually very good.
We're on to something.
Sorry,
Girl,
I'm talking with my mouth full.
That is bomb.
It's pretty good.
We need to do
I might go for a second.
oh yeah, go ahead. Ethiopian Uncrustables. You've seen those Uncrustables, right?
But it would be, yeah, and this would be actually so much better if you...
For you.
Now I'm having different ideas, but if you...
Please tell me.
Put the peanut butter, then injera, make a sandwich, and then maybe what do you call it? Grill it? Not grill it, the panini maker.
Sure.
For a quick second, because injera is pretty delicate. I think it will be so good.
Oh my gosh. So
Okay,
these
I'm
things
having this for breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah. So these things come in rolls. You roll them up.
So technically they're flat and round.
Okay, so if I were to unroll this, it would be round.
If you were to unroll 3 of them, so we roll it and cut it into 3 pieces,
Got it.
just because it's easy to pack to
Sure.
go. But in general, it's just one round piece. So you just rip the round piece and you eat. But in order for us to make it packageable, we roll it and cut it into 3 pieces.
And then it also presents better on a plate, right? You make little rolls and put them on a plate.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you don't know what you're doing, then it becomes a mess if we just gave you. So once in a while, when we are very busy and we're constantly making injera, we end up giving people the flat injera because we can't roll it when it's too hot. So I bring out a flat injera, and somebody on the other table would be like, no, I want that kind of injera. I'm like, it's the same injera. We just
right. We just didn't, right.
Yeah, so it does come flat, but you can just kind of cut it in half, put your peanut butter, jelly, and then just stick it in some sort of a toaster oven thing.
That could be really,
You're
really
giving
good.
me ideas now.
Yeah.
We might be open for breakfast now.
Yeah, right. And then also, I think I didn't have time to grab some, but like a hazelnut chocolate spread, like a Nutella.
Yeah.
I think that could be really dynamite in these things.
I might experiment tomorrow.
Yeah.
And also, I think what I do sometimes is we have this dish called, it's called katanya. So basically, you make the injera fresh, and while it's on the pan and it's crisping, you put olive oil and Ethiopian berbere spice, and you fold it in half, and that is my favorite dish. And we've been wanting to make that. Actually, that's what we were talking about. For people, you order and then we make it, but that is gonna be so good, and so a little bit of spice and a little bit of crunchness, and then the olive oil gives it a lot of good flavors.
I would also love to get some of my friends like Chef Rachel Ponce or someone and see where else we can go with injera and almost create some. I bet she would go crazy. I mean, there's so many things you could do. Imagine this. Imagine you ever had like pate, the mousse pate, a little mousse pate on the plate. Injera, you sweep it up, little like gherkin pickle, some jam or something like. Think of the things on a charcuterie plate.
Yeah, basically it's like it has a sourdough taste to it, except it's really good for you and it's thin, so it's easy to deal with.
What makes it so good for us?
So the grain is such an ancient grain, and it's loaded with iron and protein. So it's and gluten-free is a big thing for everybody.
Sure.
So it's, you can eat it all day and you'll be fine. It's just really good for you. There's no, side effect. You can't overeat. I mean, it is pretty filling, so you can overeat, but it's so, the way I think about food in general, anything our great grandparents ate is good for us, and, anything that
good for you.
like last
it's so
year.
True. You're on it. What are the hours this final week? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. How are we doing it? Are we doing a big blowout on Saturday? How are you going to at least sunset this chapter before we open the next one?
So this week we're keeping our regular hours. Monday through Wednesday, we're just doing dinner, 5 to 8. Thursday through Saturday, we'll be open 11 to 8, which is our regular hours. This whole week, we're doing 20% off all our merch and wine and beer. So it's a good time to have Ethiopian honey wine and Ethiopian beer, because you do not get it unless you drive 3 hours. So come and grab wine and beer.
And gluten-free, because all injera is not gluten-free.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Because, it's cheaper and faster to add wheat to it, and we don't add any wheat to it. So it's it's 100% gluten-free. But yeah, so Saturday will be our last day. Saturday at 8 p.m. we will probably conclude.
What are you going to do Saturday night? What are you going to do? Where are you going to be?
Honestly, I'm going to go home and crash, because last Saturday we were so busy. At the end of a work day, I'm done for the day. That Saturday, we're probably going to because we're still around for that following week to pack up and stuff.
Right.
So it's not really done for us, but it'll be the last time we'll be interacting with customers, so we're closed. But I feel like we'll probably see a lot of people the following week, because everybody wants to help. Everybody's, is saying, I have a truck, I have this, I have that, I have this.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think this is why I'm hopeful and I'm not feeling alone, because I know everybody's wanting to help, willing to help. And they also kind of see a need, and then they kind of tell me, I could do this.
Yeah.
I had
I love that.
our
Good for you.
favorite 2 customers came in the other day, and they said, we're going to sit outside and solve 2 problems. Will you give us the 2 problems? And I just said, okay, let me think of something quickly.
What a
And
blessing.
while they were eating, they solved the 2 problems. And I
They
just said,
did?
this is amazing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have the community behind us. And also, I feel like the week we're closed, we'll still be seeing people. Originally, we were wanting to do a little celebration, but we're just kind of between searching for a place and working, we're kind of exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to do our regular hour, just say our not goodbyes, but celebrate what we had and be grateful for the time
next
we
chapter
had there.
soon.
And then the next chapter, and whatever shape or form that may take, what we hear from everybody is we'll be there. Wherever
Yeah.
you are, we'll be there.
Well, I will definitely be there too.
Thank
and as
you.
soon as we have a new spot, I want to bring you back in here, and we'll bring in that Nutella. We'll bring in some other things
Absolutely.
to play with, and we'll talk about where your new spot is.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope this was fun for you. It was really fun for me to get to have you in here.
This was so much fun, and I love the space. I love where you're doing this. I think everybody should be in here.
Well, let's
Thank
cheers
you.
some of this Ethiopian honey wine. Let me pour a little bit more.
Absolutely.
But I want to cheers to not just, the community at your back, but the wind too, because you have
Absolutely.
such great energy and heart to you.
Cheers.
I appreciate you a lot, Feben.
Thank you.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Much love to Feben. You can find them, get all the info, their socials. It's all there. Link in the show notes. And if you are one of my winery friends, if you are, one of my rich friends with a lot of property, Rob Rossi, you listen to my man. Anyone that has anything, any little nugget that we can impart to Feben and her team, please reach out to me. AdamMontiel.com, click the connect tab. She was mentioning in there, she doesn't find a space. Some of this kitchen stuff is going to have to get stored. Maybe you got a winery with, maybe like 10 by 10 just to put some, kitchen stuff, put a little tarp over it for a month until they find their new spot. You got a little bit of room for some storage. If you have any ins on some leases, please reach out to me, to Feben. We want to find them a new home, and I know they do too. So thank you so much to Feben, her team, and to you for being here and connecting. All right. Well, what a little drizzle. It's a little bit different as far as weather, a little more cloudy today. Shouldn't be much, but it looks like we got a little something moving in, maybe by tomorrow. So make sure you get participating in SLO Restaurant Month when you're doing that QR code. It's at all our participating spots. And when you kind of go through, say, hey, where'd you eat? We get your name just so someone can call you and tell you if you won. And then it says, how'd you hear about it? Please let them know you heard it on Up+Adam. I don't think participation is necessary. You get to one of these restaurants, you don't have to buy like the restaurant month thing. So just get out there and participate if you can. Show some love to these spots. And please let them know you heard it on Up+Adam. I want to thank my friends Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show called Start Again. To the good people of Tamber Winery, Josh and Chiasa Clapper taste their world-class wines in the village of Arroyo Grande. I thank them for the Tamber Lowbro Studios. Thanks to Feben for being on the show. Make sure you check out Show Some Love to Ebony. They got 3 days left, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So get to it. Tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. And then we'll see what that next chapter and how it is written. Thank you so much for connecting here, for listening to the show, sharing with a friend, and wherever you listen to it, rating it 5 stars. If it's Apple Podcasts, taking a moment to write a review with a 5-star review, it means just an absolute ton. So in advance, thank you so much. Till tomorrow, I'm Adam Montiel. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for being Up+Adam.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again. Let's start again.